Morning, everybody, and welcome to another wonderful Business Spotlight interview. And we've got Jacob from Lace Law with us this morning. Jacob, tell us all about your business.
Hello, Tim. Thank you for having me. Right, so I'm a practicing lawyer, immigration advisor, and business owner. So I'm a partner at the Lace Law LLP. So it's a specialist law firm focused on personal and business immigration. And I've been working in immigration for a couple of years. And at Lace Law, we have privilege of advising individuals, families, and businesses on various immigration issues and also assisting them with the immigration applications.
That's a hot topic.
It is indeed, yes.
So tell us more about it. I mean, everybody's talking about immigration and
Right.
the small boats, etc., etc. Obviously, that is a different type of immigration to what you're dealing with. So tell me a little bit more about what's actually happening in that
Yeah,
particular space.
sure, that's correct. And that's a very good point, Tim, because I think, obviously, like you said, immigration is a quite hot topic right now. It's everywhere in media. You can't escape it, to be honest with you. But I think there was a lot of confusion between legal immigration and illegal immigration as well. So what we do, we deal with the legal immigration. So if it's individuals, for instance, we're being contacted by a person who is a excuse me, professor at the university somewhere abroad, and then would like to come to UK and work at the universities in the UK or work in a sector as well in industry. Or we also assist clients who are scientists. But at the same time, sometimes we are contacted by people who are already in the UK on, for instance, skilled worker visas or innovators visas, and they would like to bring their families as dependents because we have a right to do so. And then we help them to bring spouses and children. Some of those children, they go to boarding schools in the UK as well, or just public schools. But we also assist businesses. So if you are a UK registered business, and if you like to employ a foreign international specialist or just employee, you need a license. You need a sponsor license from the Home Office in order to create those positions for international employees. So the first step is for you to apply and obtain the license, and only then you can attract talent from all around the world, Europe and beyond. And the business side of things is actually really interesting because we do have shortage of labor in the UK in various areas. So a lot of companies, we do struggle to find people for certain positions in the UK. So we have to go beyond that. And especially after Brexit, that became a bit more complicated and challenging.
Yeah, I mean, sort of what you're actually saying there is that the legal immigration side, and actually let's kind of put this to what's bed, but actually open this up. It's actually very tightly regulated, isn't it?
That's correct. Yeah. Yeah, it's highly regulated, and it's has been increasingly more complex as well for companies. Because there's a lot of things that it's relatively easy to set up a business in the UK, to register your company on a company's house. That is, compared to other countries, that's relatively easy. But when it comes to actually getting the sponsor license, and because sponsor license, this is just the first step, then the company has to create the position, has to justify why do we need a foreign worker, because the rule is that you have to prove that you were not able to find that person in the UK. And sometimes it is challenging because you need a very specific set of skills, and then you have to justify why the person from abroad is better skilled than the person in the UK. So yeah, it's becoming very complex, and for a lot of companies, it's challenging because you might be a very good entrepreneur, you might have a great idea, and maybe you're very good with dealing with clients, but the legality of sponsor license, the legality of employing people from abroad, it's complex.
No, it's funny enough you were talking about that, and just to put it into kind of layman's terms, if let's say Nottingham Forest or Derby County
Yeah,
were buying or want to buy a player from, say, Nigeria,
yeah.
they have to get the license, don't they?
Yes, the sports have slightly different rules as well, which further complicates the legal landscape. But yes, they need certain legal avenue to get those foreign players. And as you probably remember or you know, back in the day there was a limit on how many foreign players you can have in the team as well. So again, you know and as you know as well, the transfer window is very so sometimes the transfers are being finalized on the last day, last hour of the day as well. So imagine that if the transfer fails because of the lack of a license or lack of the capacity to get a foreign player. So it's everywhere. It's everywhere in sports. Everywhere you go, people employ individuals from abroad. So yeah, that's a good example.
I think that's a really good example. Just put everything in context in terms of immigration. But that's the whole point. That there has to be this clear differentiation between illegal immigration and legal, um,
Absolutely.
which we've always had and always needed. So,
Yeah.
so, uh, so that's absolutely fantastic. So, did you always want to set up your own law firm?
I think so. I think it's a natural step. I mean, I always wanted to be a lawyer. Maybe since the age I was 14, I knew I want to study law. Um, my grandfather was a lawyer, so that was a big inspiration for me. And he had a small law firm himself. And just provides you with flexibility, and you can really engage with clients as well. Because I worked in the barrister chamber in Nottingham, and I worked at the universities as well. But just having your own business, it provides you with the freedom and flexibility of do the things the way you want to do it, which I think it's amazing.
So that's really interesting. And it's a relatively new business. So, what's been your biggest learning so far?
It is a new business, yes. In terms of the learnings, I mean, I think the starting business in general requires enormous energy and resilience as well. And obviously, in the legal sector, this is very much regulated. So we are accredited with IAA, and so there's a lot of rules you have to follow if you have like a specialist firm in the UK. But I think the biggest lesson I have learned so far um, is that you need to have a belief in yourself and also in the quality of the service you provide, because you need to project certain level of confidence to your clients that you know the rules, and if the rules change, you're going to be able to adjust the plan. Because I mean, you probably know this, that obviously we all hear about the changes in immigration. It's such a complex landscape to navigate that sometimes, for instance, you might have a client in September, and then by a couple of months the rules change, and you have to adjust the strategy as well, and you have to convey it to a client that, oh, hold on a second, so we have to change a couple of things. And so I think that's the big challenge as well, just in terms of like setting the business, but also setting a legal business in the UK right now.
That's a really interesting share, isn't it? This sort of changing landscapes is probably the best way to describe it. So, as a business, and as a relatively nascent business, but obviously doing well, what do you see as the main challenges for you moving forward?
That's a good question. So, I mean, I guess the ever-changing nature of immigration law is definitely a challenge, but also that what keeps us very excited. Um, and like I mentioned before, it's with the very complex landscape of immigration rules, we need to be really like up to speed with all the changes. So it's not there are some businesses that's more static, that you can just sort of you learn something, you learn the basis, you expand your knowledge, but then you kind of know what the rules are. Whereas with us, it's not like that. Like we have to educate ourselves all the time and to stay sort of almost like ahead of the changes as well. Um, and in terms of scalability, again, as of now, we will see what's going to happen with immigration. If the immigration rules become even more restrictive, then I guess that will limit the number of people coming to the UK. So we will need to adjust our strategy in terms of client acquisition. But as of now, a lot of people still come to UK, luckily. A lot of businesses are being opened by foreign individuals as well. So we just need to wait and see. And again, it's almost difficult for us to plan because we need to see what's going to happen politically and legally.
Very difficult to plan. So, obviously, a busy firm, busy
Yeah.
life. how do you actually balance your personal life with the demands of running a business?
I mean, to be honest with you, right now it's getting way better because because I started a different firm with two of my partners a few years ago, and at the time I was working full time at the university. I was finalizing my PhD. I was growing the business, and I was still, trying to travel and do my hobbies. So back in the day, it was havoc. It was balancing too many spinning plates. Now I'm fully committed at the firm, so this is my main thing. It's still busy. I mean, I don't really work from 9 to 5. That's more like sometimes I work from 8 to 6, 7, or obviously there's a certain level of flexibility. But it's challenging sometimes, but also it comes with waves. It's almost like there are certain periods which are very busy, and there are periods that allow a little bit of a breathing space.
Brilliant, brilliant. So finally, what's the best advice you'd give to an 18-year-old you?
That is a good question. Um, I think I would give. I would probably like tell myself just to worry a little bit less about the future, because just work hard and focus on milestones, but just to worry less. But also, I would tell myself to get the good understanding of economics, and sort of the business type of things, and also how investing works, because I think that investing early on in your life allows you to take more risks and take more opportunities later on. But overall, I think I definitely would like to worry less when I was younger.
Brilliant, absolutely fantastic. Jacob, what a great way to finish. Thanks so much for your time.
Thanks a lot, Tim. Thank you for having me.
Pleasure.